All right, hello everyone. Tyler King here alongside Vinny Benedetto. Post game from Game 2 between the Nuggets and the Clippers. And Vinny, there are only two words to describe this game that we saw tonight at Ball Arena, and they are Kawhi Leonard. 39 points for the Clippers star, who has not looked like this since probably before he tore his ACL in the 2021 West Finals. He had two 40-point games in that series. He finishes with 39 points tonight. What was he? 15 of 19 from the field. He was 12 of 13 at one point. Just looked like that machine kind of mid-range scorer that we have come to know and appreciate as basketball fans the last decade or so. And this was one of the all-time Kawhi performances for sure, especially because of everything he's gone through the last couple of years. And the Clippers needed every bit of it tonight in a game that was it 105-102. The Clippers ended up beating the Nuggets here to give us a 1-1 tie going back to Los Angeles later this week. So just kind of what's your overall reaction, sitting in a couple of hours after that game now, just kind of seeing what Kawhi was able to do in this one. And after the Nuggets made a pretty furious comeback to kind of steal a game in game one, the Clippers now were able to kind of steal one where not everyone was at their best except for Kawhi, who was just one of those all-time performances. Just kind of this one that will stick with you for a while, you feel like?
Yeah, I've gotten pretty accustomed to seeing pretty incredible performances on this court, but
Pretty spoiled here.
pretty spoiled here. But yeah, 5-10 years down the road, and someone asks about this Nuggets Clippers game 2 in 2025, and I'll remember it as the Kawhi Leonard game. And one thing I'm excited to kind of go back and rewatch is I want to see the breakdown between solid Nuggets defensive possessions on Kawhi buckets, or there was certainly, I remember there was 1-3 in that corner where they just lost him.
There weren't a lot of those though. I feel like they did a good job against it, but there was. I mean, it's Kawhi Leonard. He does that to people in the mid range.
Yeah, he's going to get to his spots, and it felt like Aaron Gordon got hands up a lot of the time, but that was a clinic in tough shot making, and I think Aaron Gordon said it. You just got to tip your cap, shake his hand, and move on to game 3.
The story after game one was the Clippers turnovers. They had 20 leading to 29 Nuggets points. And tonight the Nuggets were the ones who had 20 turnovers. I forget exactly how many points off turnovers.
21 for the Clippers.
21 points off turnovers for LA. Nikola Jokic had 7 of those himself. Felt like, there are a lot of guys taking blame in the locker room after this one, but Nikola as well was just describing some of the silly passes. He felt like he made Kawhi get the steal. I think when they're up 3 in the final minute, he tried to throw a lob to Peyton Watson at one point that was just nowhere close. So he was kind of taking responsibility for some of this as well. It's kind of, what did you feel like the Nuggets got away from offensively down the stretch there? The Jamal Joker two-man game was working really well, it felt like, for large chunks of this game. Michael Porter Jr. was really active and engaged and hit some big shots in this game, but it just felt like at the end the Nuggets kind of lost their identity in those last couple of minutes offensively.
Yeah, and it felt like there were just multiple instances where they just kind of got a little bit frazzled. I think one of Joker's turnovers, and maybe it was even the late one, I think Christian Brown and somebody else were standing like in the exact same. Yeah, they were standing very closely together. So I think spacing certainly could have been better at times. There were just a few like weird communication issues. Like Nikola Jokic was talking about one. He grabbed an offensive rebound. Jamal Murray was motioning to like slow it down.
Yeah.
And Joker thought Jamal was motioning like shoot it.
As if the shot clock did not reset, but it did. Yeah.
So Joker took like an off balance shot with 10 or 11 seconds left on the shot clock. So it just feels like the details got away from the Nuggets in a couple really costly instances.
Yeah, and now there's a lot to look ahead to as both teams have a couple days off here before Game 3, which is Thursday night in Los Angeles. Michael Porter Jr. said after the game that he thinks he has a joint sprain. He took a hard fall after he grabbed a defensive rebound, but Chris Dunn comes from behind and pokes it free, and MPJ takes a spill there. And it looked like, from my vantage point, that it was a collarbone injury or some kind, because he stayed down on the ground. The ball gets swung to Norm Powell for a wide open 3, which I think gave the Clippers a 103-100 lead there very late. But MPJ's status going forward seems to be up in the air. We're not sure about the brace for his drop foot that could also come into play. So, if the Nuggets, Jamal Murray is sick, but he's not making excuses about that. And Nikola Jokic put the elbow sleeve on at one point during the game, which he said was just to give him some more comfort with all the banging and down he's doing with Zubac in the post. But Kawhi Leonard has managed to stay healthy so far this series. Just kind of, what are these next 2 games in LA going to be like, just from a gutting it out and who's healthy standpoint for both these squads? Because it has been a war so far in the series.
Yeah,
it's been a grind
through 2 games here. Like, this thing is going to be decided by the margins. And if
Yeah.
you're a Nuggets fan, I don't think there should be any real concern about Nikola's elbow. But yeah, Mike's shoulder would be the top of my concerns right now because he bounced back with a 15 point, 15 rebound performance tonight.
He was really active and engaged, and
Yeah.
it seemed like he was all over the place trying to make an impact in this one.
And I think 6 of those rebounds came on the offensive glass, and
Yeah.
that to me indicates the level of buy-in and intensity and focus that David Adelman was looking for, and especially in this series, the way the Clippers have done a really nice job of mixing up their looks against Jokic
Yes.
defensively. Zubac has done a really nice job one-on-one at times. Other times they're sending 3 or 4 guys. And one thing David Adelman mentioned post-game was just kind of the need for that spacing to be better so that Joker can attract a crowd and kick out. And when you're thinking about guys who can make teams pay for sending multiple defenders at Joker, Mike tops the list in terms of catch and shoot guys. So yeah, if you're a Nuggets fan, you're hoping these next 48 hours are very restful and full of recovery for Mike.
The biggest adjustments in a series are always made between games 2 and 3 as the series shifts from one location to another. Ty Lue post game was very, very complimentary of David Adelman and kind of everything that the Nuggets have drawn up so far. What are you looking at in terms of how the Nuggets can improve things, especially offensively in this series? Like you said, they're getting a lot thrown at them in terms of how the Clippers are guarding Nikola Jokic. It felt like Jamal Murray got in a pretty good groove tonight at times. Russell Westbrook knocked down some shots. Not really much from anybody else. I think Aaron Gordon hit one corner three, if I remember. That was in the first half. But it feels like they could do more to get him going. I do vividly remember the first play of the second half was one of those Joker AG inverted pick and rolls where he gets a lob. We've seen that play countless times the last couple of years. Do you feel like the Nuggets have to be able to get more out of the non-Joker and Jamal guys offensively right now? And is there a way you feel like the coaching staff could do that at this point?
Yeah, I think your mention of getting more out of Aaron is a good call, or at least getting him more involved in ways that force. It feels like Kawhi Leonard's been guarding him and Mike, primarily Mike.
A little bit on Jamal too, but mostly those two guys. Yeah.
So I would just, not that you're going to necessarily be able to tire Kawhi out, but just make sure he's really working on both ends. Because tonight it didn't. I'm trying to find the way to put it. It didn't look easy for him.
Yeah.
But it also looked easy, if that makes any sort of sense. I would just see if there's a way to make him run through screens. Make him, if he's on Mike, make Mike run from corner to corner and make, Kawhi chase him around a baseline screen or two. So yeah, I would just see if there are other ways to get, more out of the third and fourth options.
All right, that'll do it from Vinny and I here from Ball Arena. You can look for all of our coverage in tomorrow's Denver Gazette, Tuesday, and at denvergazette.com. Vinny's got a story about kind of the late game execution for the Nuggets. I've got something on Kawhi Leonard's vintage performance here tonight. Jerry Lee Bennett was here. We got a photo page coming. I think it's tomorrow's Denver Gazette too. Vinny will have full coverage from LA as the series shifts there, and it seems like it's going to be a grind. Like we're definitely coming back here for Game 5. I don't think that's a big surprise next Monday, but. Injuries aside, it feels like we could be in for a pretty long series here, Vinny.
I feel like I might be going back to LA for a Game 6.
Well, that's a good way to put it, and that'll do it from us here from Ball Arena. Thanks everybody for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and check out all of our coverage at denvergazette.com.